Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are going to be taking a look at SS1-3. We're going to give you an introduction, the overview, what are some of the union matchups, if at all any, and then also show you something right off the bat here that I am hoping they decide to further implement into future merged kingdoms. So, let's, most recently, jump right in. So let's start off with the number one thing here, which is, if I zoom out of my map all the way, you are going to see that I can see everything. No pun intended with the double C's. The fog has been cleared, and I'm going to tell you, I am absolutely loving this. Now, one of the things I want to point out, even though, yes, maybe this... So there's two ways of looking at it. If you look at... for those of you who played Rise of Kingdoms, you know, even if you played Infinity Kingdom, you know that when you go into a KVK in those games, there is no fog, right? The fog is completely cleared. Now, it makes sense for me, right? Now, I can see the logic on both ends. If the game is going to remain consistent, and they want to, again, trend in a level of, hey, we are applying one thing in one season, we're going to keep doing it in the next season, and that's the logic we're going to apply going forward, okay, right? Even though I personally am actually more in favor of them not having any fog in the Merge Kingdom, but just still having to search for all the things that you can do. But then let me offer real quick an alternative. An alternative could be, and this is something I may write a suggestion for, is you do it one of two ways. If you want the rewards, then you opt in the beginning, right after you select your region, on do you want the fog to be there? If so, then you have the opportunity to search for rewards, as far as the villages, caves, etc. Do it from scouting. Or you opt for no rewards, and then the fog clears for you immediately, right? But you're not able to get any of those. Now, I think that's a nice give and take. However, if they did this on purpose and they're applying similar logic to what they've done in Rock, which is being able to see the map, right, when you go into a KVK, i.e., as an example here in CoD, a merged kingdom, I am okay with this. Why? And this is really more personal, right? This is more of a want rather than maybe arguably a need, if you will, is because now I can show you everything on the map. Now I can cover the wars and I can cover the fights and the battles and anything that happens in the field, on the passes, more or less for free without having to do the grind of uncovering fog. Now, again, my reasons are probably more in the 1%, not necessarily for the majority, which, again, I'm sure others can make the argument that, yeah, you know, we don't mind having fog cleared so we can see the map immediately. I don't think that necessarily gives you a advantage or disadvantage, more or less, right, with a small asterisk there. But this is nice to be able to see for me. Okay. Now let's get into what are some of the overviews here when it comes to the matchups. So I'm still trying to figure everything out. I've reached out to a couple people, and I have got some responses, but nothing that is incredibly definitive at the moment. And so this is what we're gonna do. Let's go region by region. So Kaltia, we have Fog, LOTG, we got PNI, Gods, Zero. If we go to Sophrostia, we have Goat, another Goat, COD, NVR, NVRS, and then at the end, I'll go over some of what we know some of the groups and the unions to be. We got Gassel, we got Gas 3, Gas, we have DBLZ there. When we go to Darlin, we have Gas X, we have Orcs, we have PTFO. When we go to Forgotten Lands, we have PG, we have Cape. I don't think anyone else has built there yet. We go into Zoland, and I thought there was only one. Yeah, RDC. Dude, RDC's got the run of the money, dude. Like, dude, no one went to Zoland. You got Myth over here in Burning Lit, Mini Myth, and FGTM, right? And and PNT, who just built theirs. Now, I want to point out, I am somewhat shocked because when I look at SS1-1 from Kingdoms 1 through 4, granted, yes, I mean, the kingdoms were a little bit older, but sometimes when you're older, you might lose some general activity. When you look at, like an example, Kingdom 1, you know, kind of more or less became 1 to 1.5 alliances. But you still saw, you know, quite a few alliances that started up within the first 24 hours. And it's been 24 hours now. And you just see some regions that, I don't know, kind of to me at least appear a little bit low in general activity. But now let's go through some of the unions. So from what I'm hearing, it is Kaltia and Sophrostia that are, for intensive purposes, teaming up. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's every single one of those alliances. But from what I've heard, it's GOAT, NVRS, NVR, Zero, War, and AE that are, I don't know who that is, it's PNI, yeah, and AE who are going to be teaming up. Now, with that in mind, when you look at, let me give you some breakdown here, right? So for Kaltia and Sophrostia, it's mostly Kingdom 8, and then you have a sprinkle of Kingdom 9, right, with AE, because they were the number 5 ranked alliance. When we did the stats, they were at, 925 mil when it came to the top alliances, and we did top 20 alliances. And so then you get to Nivola, and you have Gassel here, who I'm assuming is just a branch of Gas from Kingdom 10. So they're on the west side of Nivola. So we could kind of, again, depending on how this plays out, we could see a potential, SS Union, TA Union type fight here on these two passes, depending on how that plays out. You also see that Gas and Gas 3. So again, Kingdom 10 has kind of taken Nivola for all intents and purposes. Then you get into Darlin. They have an alliance here in Darlin, which again is nice to see. PTFO is actually from Kingdom 9. And so, let me see where they were at. 500, they were about 500 mil, right? And I think they were coming in as a number 10 ranked alliance for the top 20 from these 4 kingdoms. So, who knows? Maybe they just decided to go there. Are they working with Kingdom 10? Again, we'll have to wait to find out. There was nothing on the unions from what I saw. Then you get to PG over here in Forgotten Lands. And PG from Kingdom 9, they're kind of, again, on their own. Cape you have, and I don't think I had a Cape. That was one of the other ones. And granted that, yes, the alliances are not at max capacity, so, I'm sure some are branched. So they could be a part of the PG alliance, and they just decided, hey, we're just going to start farther south. Then you get into Darlin, and I don't really know where RDC came from. Even when I click on them, and it seems to be a Spanish, if that's right. Let's see here once we click on them. Yeah. So again, 146 mil. I mean, a decent power for the first 24 hours, but and obviously they're building. But then we get into Burning Lands, and this is where you have Myth and them being from Kingdom 7. So Burning Lands is kind of, I guess, or Kingdom 7 just kind of occupied Burning Lands. So right now, that's pretty much how it plays out, right? Let's look at some of the ranks real quick, and then we will move it on in. So if we look to ranks, you got our boy Immortal, who was 80 mil, right? He dropped about a little under 2 mil after the reset. You got a player here from PG at 63, Charles the First from Gas at 60. We got our guy Crazy Canuck here, almost 60 mil, 59.5. And then you got Nigelis from GOAT, 23.9. So again, right, you got 9 players over 20 mil. We have 24 over 15. How many over 10? Let's see here if we scroll down a little bit more. Oh, that's actually a decent amount here, right? You got, 117 over 10 mil? Bubble position for 200 is at 8.96, so 9 mil, arguably there. Personal merits haven't been unlocked. Hall levels, there's, how many 25s do we have in the kingdom? There's 27 25s. And the bubble, as far as number 200, I'm sure it's got to be over 20. So Castle 23, at least 200 players of the Castle 23 or more. Looking at some resources gathered at 28, L as number 1, Himatade, 26.7, Fury Yaha 25, almost 25 mil. Dragon Trail Immortals making a break for it at 204. Crazy Canuck close 184 as well. We got 183 for Charles the First. Can't see any alliance power yet. Can't see any alliance merits, but we can see towers. And who's kind of leading the tower game? You got Gas, Goat, Myth all at 7, Zero at 6, all the way down to Myth, or Mini Myth, I guess you could say, at 6. There's 23 alliances right now that have a CF up, CF plus 1 tower. I'm sure we'll get some more over the next 24 hours as well. And just to kind of show you some of the powers right now, we can maybe just take a look at that. So you can see Gas, 641 mil, Goat 753 mil, Myth 543, 0381. So we got Gassel 400. Let's see. 491 for NVRS, 312 for PTFO, 336 for Minimyth, NVR 370, Gas. What do we got? 331 or Gas X. So again, right, climbing the ranks. I think for me the matchups is really what's going to be interesting as far as the approach for this kingdom, and where are we going to be seeing some of those fights? Just because, like I said, the interesting part for me is that there just does not seem to be a high level of active alliances, or maybe branches or breaks from the main alliances in their home kingdoms, where they said, hey, look, we're just going to make 3 or 4 or 5 alliances, and then we'll just level them up and then go ahead and merge later. Maybe the approach here could be that they're just waiting. Maybe they decided, look, we're just going to make 2 alliances or less than we need, because we'll be able to increase member capacity pretty fast, and then those players will just join. So maybe they just kind of made like a holding farm alliance while they wait for the mains, and maybe that was the approach. So we'll have to see. Again, I'd love to hear, though, from anyone here that's in SS1-3, what are some of the Union matchups? What could some of the fights look like? Again, one I could already see here would be on this Nivola Sophrostia pass, which has apparently now could be becoming a trending fighting zone. Beyond that, right, we'll have to wait and see. I'll keep trying to reach out to get you guys as much information as we can, but we'll have to see how things line up. Again, we got some heavy power guys. Immoral, I think at the moment, is the strongest player in the game. Again, peak reaching that new power peak at 80 mil. He was the first, or that player was the first to do so. So we'll have to see what type of good usage, right, some of these top players are able to put their troops and account progressions to. That is going to do it for me. I'm going to pass the question, or at least ask the question for you guys, right? Let me know. As I said, what do you think some of the matchups are going to be? Who are some players you're looking out for to do some damage in this merged kingdom? Again, is there any drama that's coming in? And who do you think is going to end up making it to Zone 3, right? Who's going to get Flame Dragon, right? I'm always reading my comments. I always love to do that and respond to as many as I'm able to. So let me know down there. That's going to be it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.